Huge news just breaking today. Trump media announces $2.5 billion Bitcoin Treasury deal. It's the layers that are behind this headline that are even massive than I think most people are even realizing. I actually saw this comment right under this post. No one understands how bullish this really is. And I'm going to explain that in this video. Hit the subscribe, hit the like on the way in. If you're not a member in our intelligence system, please check out the sale below, 40% off right now. Hit the link. Let's jump into the news. Let me explain the news. Let's go through this. And then I just want to explain why there are additional layers to this that are making this even bigger than what it first appears. And then I want to look at Bitcoin charts, and I really just kind of want to break down where we are in terms of this cycle, technical indicators, as well as some on-chain data that I want to take a glance at. So announced today, so this is basically Truth Social, announced today that it has entered into subscription agreements with approximately 50 institutional investors, under which the company agreed to issue and sell approximately $1.5 billion in the company's common stock and $1 billion in principal amount of 0% convertible senior secured notes. So this is important context to what's happening here. So they are basically issuing and selling approximately $1.5 billion in the company's common stock. That's massive, and $1 billion in principal amount. Now, the company intends to use the proceeds for the creation of a Bitcoin treasury. The company, and I want to make a note right here, the company, which has a majority owner of Donald Trump, the sitting president. I just want to make that note. One of the largest Bitcoin treasury deals of any public company, the move closes Trump Media's previously announced special acquisition fund, which is one of numerous ways, including through potential mergers and acquisitions, that the company is aiming to expand its reach throughout the America First economy. So check out what the CEO of Trump Media is saying. We view Bitcoin as an apex instrument of financial freedom. And now Trump Media will hold crypto as a crucial part of our assets. Our first acquisition of a crown jewel asset. This investment will help defend our company against harassment and discrimination by financial institutions which plague many Americans, and U.S. firms will create synergies for subscription payments, a utility token, and other planned transactions across Truth Social and Truth Plus. Notice what they said. Notice what he said here, by the way. He said, our first acquisition, meaning more to come. It's a big step forward in the company's plans to evolve into a holding company by acquiring additional profit-generating crown jewel assets consistent with America First principles. Check this out as an added highlight. Crypto.com and Anchorage Digital will provide custody for Trump Media's Bitcoin Treasury. That just, these are companies that have just been around for a while, right? They're OGs in the space. And just to see these headlines right now, what's happening, I don't know how long you've been in crypto, but it really does. It just blows my mind how far the space has come right now. And the pendulum just started swinging. A year ago, please keep in mind, crypto was very much under attack by an anti-crypto administration, an anti-crypto SEC. We just flipped this thing. This is just flipping in the right direction. This is the very beginning. So the additional layers to this headline is very simple. This headline is not U.S. Bitcoin Reserve headline. This is Trump's media company. But let's just make the massive note. Trump is the majority owner in the media company, and Trump is the president of the United States of America. So it's really only a matter of time before we see a very similar headline in terms of the U.S. And this is not anything that's brand new. We've known that Donald Trump has kind of been going in this direction, but now that this is actually being implemented in his media company is very big and a very big step in the right direction for the U.S. And by the way, that's the next layer, the U.S. And then beyond that are the other layers, the global race, other governments racing the U.S. to get in this. We have something just happening right now. And this is something that we can analyze all day, and we will, because I want to be here to anticipate every single scenario. But everything is changing. This entire Bitcoin chart is changing. Altcoin charts are changing. Everything, the altcoin cycles even. I did an altcoin video yesterday talking about altcoin bull market that I still think is in play. I don't think it's game over for crypto, everything other than Bitcoin, but everything is changing. And these headlines and what's happening, I mean, Trump media, buying Bitcoin, having a reserve plays right into that. Institutions on board right now plays right into how things are changing. What I wanted to do is start on the price chart for Bitcoin, and then I want to look at just a few different on-chain metrics because that gives us a very nice glimpse of what and how things are changing. But what I wanted to make a note of right now was kind of just this RSI. It's just something on my radar. Right now, if the opposite was happening, that is bullish divergence, I'd be doing a video on it. I do want to mention right now we do have some kind of bearish divergence, meaning if you look at price, we have swing high, higher high. Now we do have a higher high, and just check out the momentum oscillator on Bitcoin. There's some bearish divergence right there. That's something that needs to be on our radar. Like, let's keep an eye out on that. And that's not to say that we're entering a bear market, especially because look how low that this RSI resets, right? We've got into the 42 area on the RSI, which is quite low for Bitcoin. And the other thing that I want to mention is we can't just be like, hey, bear market starting just because we have an RSI bearish divergence playing out. We might be getting set up for some type of break through that area. This could be a very nice picture of what a super cycle would look like. And the other reason is if we just go back on this chart, and this is going to actually be a nice segue into on-chain metrics. If we go back to this chart, right, and we look, I spotted this back in 2017, there was bearish divergence right here. Like, you can see Bitcoin swing high of, $3,000, and then we had another swing high of $5,000, so higher high, and then we had a lower high. Man, that's some bearish divergence, end of bull market, game over. No, that's not what happened. It reset again, and then it broke kind of that trend, right? And then it went higher in the bull market. And notice this date, by the way, right? This September 2017 date. I just kind of want to keep that in mind as we're thinking about price and these charts, and then now going to these charts. So there's 3 on-chain metrics charts I want to go over. The first one is dormant supply. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this at all, but and mainly because I just did a video on it the other day. But what I want to point out is this is what I was talking about the other day. You can see our signal here in terms of this dormant supply chart is a 72. Comes off high. Comes off as kind of like, an alert type of signal. But what I was talking about in my video the other day was, I believe we were looking at September 2017 in that area. Check that out on the screen. A 74, high signal, September 2017. Was that the beginning of the bear market? No. We did have dormant supply starting to fall, but we still had plenty of bull market and a very powerful move for bull market at that level. And that's one thing I wanted to mention on this chart for dormant supply, because this is where we are right now. Now, dissecting this further, I wanted to go to a couple other on-chain metrics charts that really give a signal of this is just how things are changing right now, everybody. And it's because of headlines like this. It's because of all of this new money and capital that is entering the game right now, whether it's institutions, private companies, whatever. This is a picture of how things are changing. And this is not a bad thing in my view. I think this is such a bullish thing, but we have to adapt, and we need more and more data. I think, at least I need more and more data to continue tracking, to have a proper roadmap that's at least helpful for me on my crypto journey. So if we look at SOPR, this is a chart that kind of can signal fear and greed in a sense, but it's spent output profit ratio. So it tells you if people are selling Bitcoin at a profit or loss. When SOPR is less than 1, fearful sellers are selling at losses. When SOPR is greater than a 1, greedy sellers are taking profits. Our system finds the sweet spots between fear and greed. And there's a lot more to it that you can read in our system, but namely, what we have here is our heat model. So this is what the chart actually just kind of looks like. You can go to different platforms. This is what SOPR looks like. We have these these heat signals, this heat map overlay, which gives a very clear illustration of the chart itself. And just notice this cycle, what is happening right now. It is doing something that really we've not seen before. And if we have seen it, meaning we have this swing high to 100 peak. And by the way, last time that happened was last cycle, January 2021, and it just never recovered. I mean, Bitcoin, it went higher for that kind of second swing high, but the SOPR chart just continued down. Now we peaked, consolidated to neutral, peaked again, right? And this peak was 97, consolidated to neutral, and now we're just kind of just in this general average area, and this average area can very well be again a pre-bull market area. So this chart is different than really what we've ever seen. If we're going to liken it to any other time on this chart, it would probably be, back here. You can see kind of like this double peak, but even then it's looking a bit different, right? So, and the other thing I wanted to mention was we were looking at that September 2017 area. Just check out September 2017 on this chart. This is what this chart was doing. It was kind of coming out of this neutral area and then putting in a continuation of the bull market, right? And most recently, this is kind of what has happened, coming out of a neutral area, and we're kind of trending higher right now. So this is a chart that I'm going to continue monitoring to see how this plays out. But I am so curious to see how this actual cycle will continue to operate on this chart and how different it will end up looking to every previous cycle. Going over here, MVRV, Z-score. This tells you if Bitcoin is trading way above or way below what people paid for it on average. When the score is super high, Bitcoin's overpriced. When it's super low, Bitcoin is underpriced. Our system turns it into simple buy, sell signals, currently sitting at a 46. And just look at the chart. Again, not only does it look different than previous cycles, but it appears from this chart, the bull market has not even actually happened yet. So much consolidation has been happening, and that's the point. We get this swing high on March 11th. Here we are, consolidation for months. Swing high in December 2024, consolidation for months. And right now, whether it's even these swing highs or where Bitcoin is right now, Bitcoin is in pre-bull market territory. You can just go back on last bull market, pre-bull market territory, 2 bull markets ago, pre-bull market parabolic move territory, 3 bull markets ago, 2013, pre-bull market territory. So this chart, this on-chain metric, even signaling that we are kind of in this pre-bull market area. I wanted to bring in just some of this context into this headline because things are changing, everybody. There is a brand new segment of liquidity and capital that is just beginning. This is just starting. So it will be interesting to see how these charts change and adapt. We have to continue to watch price, obviously, in terms of this momentum oscillator, potential bearish divergence, but also even a breakout to the upside. There is room for consolidation to the downside right now. 20-week moving average, 93,000. It is so in play for so many different reasons, including, I would still say, this potential for kind of this, if I could draw the line properly, a potential inverse head and shoulders setup. And that's something I'll track in a different Bitcoin analysis video. But these are my thoughts today, everybody. If you want to get in our system, 40% off sale going on right now. Would love having you as a member. Check out our system. We have risk models back here, exit planner, obviously some on-chain metrics as we went through today. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the subscribe, smash that like button. I will see you all in the next video. Have an awesome day. God bless.